Hey guys, Larissa at Practical Pieces here. I am always eager to show you the latest thing that I find or decide to create, cook, whatever with you. But today I want to focus on something that many of us see often. Maybe we have it in our own home and maybe we're just kind of like, not sure what to do with it. Are we tired of the same old? But one thing that you can definitely find in an old closet, even on the curb or at the thrift store, is an empty picture frame. And it's really great when you can come upon one that has a bit of character or charm to it. But if you find a plain one, don't be afraid to add that charm. I want to show you this one that is actually an antique. It's a pretty ornate, I don't know if you can see that there, pretty ornate gold kind of finish to it. And while most people would maybe say, oh, I want to paint that, I really love the patina that the original finish has. So I'm not going to mess with that. But if you notice, it does have the original glass in it. See how dirty that is? I'm going to make use of that. Now, many times you can find a frame, and I've shared, I'll put links down below, how you can make chalkboard, corkboard, or other kind of art to fill in that center there. I'll have some cards up above showing you some other videos I have here on YouTube, but definitely I have plenty of options on my blog. But one of the ones I like to do is sometimes turning a mirror and adding art. And this time I'm going to put those two together to show you. You can take it to as many levels as you want. I'm going to try to keep it basic, but give you the general idea of how we're going to do this. All right, let's get started. Okay, so now we're looking at the back side of our frame. Like I said, this is the antique. We've got old nails, we've got the old wood frame with that embossed design on the front, just gorgeous. I've taken off the wire hangers by just unscrewing the little eye hooks there that were on the back so that I have a nice clear area to work with. I cleaned off the glass with just some basic rubbing alcohol or window cleaner will work. So I have a nice ready to go surface. Now, like I said, you could do any kind of design you want to this. I'm choosing to do a botanical print that I put together, creating my own font, my own designs, and grabbing a few different things here to kind of give me an idea. The idea though is my graphic is in reverse and it is taped to the underside. I don't know if you can see that here. It's basically taped to the front so that I can see the reverse image this way, so that when we flip our picture up and it's facing out, we're going to see the graphic in the right way. I hope that makes sense to you. Feel free to ask questions. Also, just come over to the blog. I'll have it out in written form if that doesn't make sense to you there too. Just like I said, feel free to ask. What I'm going to be doing is using some basic acrylic paints and some artist brushes. Now, you could totally just do some lettering. That is really as basic as you can get. That would make it simple. For me, I tend to like to go over the hilt, so I'm doing these flowers, and when you're painting something, you're going to paint in layers. So what I'm going to begin with first is basically the outlines. Normally when you're doing a different kind of painting, you would do the petals, let's say, first, and then outline them later. Because I'm doing this in reverse, I want my outline to be seen. I'm going to do the outline, let's say the petals first, and then I'll put in the color of the white petal here, or let's say here I would start with the speckly orange color and then layer on top the lighter color yellow. I hope that makes sense. Just think in reverse instead of your normal painting. When it comes to text, you're just going to throw it on and it'll dry. So no special paint required. Like I said, just the basic acrylic paints that I'm going to be using. So you could use glass, but because this is going to be on the back side, we're not concerned too much about it being on glass. And when you clean the front, it's going to be a nice glass smooth surface. So, all right, let's have at it. Okay, I'm starting to fill in the petals with the light brown. I'm going to try to use colors that are slightly darker than this print so that it shows up in the final thing. Now, honestly, I will tell you, I've never done this before. So hopefully this turns out as good as it looks in my head. Oftentimes it does. I will say there are times that, like anybody, we learn from our mistakes how to do something differently. So I will share with you my experiences as we go. But this will definitely take time. We're going to work in layers. But like I said, you could go as quick as you want. You could even use a Sharpie marker. Really, the limits, there's no limits. You could really have fun with this. Don't be afraid to try. You can see I've done 2 coats of this mirror effect paint. Now this stuff goes a long way. You might think, oh goodness, it's I wouldn't say it's expensive, but it's a little more pricey than it would be a bigger can of paint. But like I said, it goes a long way. And the idea here is to create many layers to make it a solid effect. Then I'll show you the aging process. I've done 2 so far, so you can see that it's getting there. A little more solid looking, but you can still see through it. So they recommend somewhere around 5 layers to get it to where, you know, it's a pretty good effect, a pretty solid effect, but really you could stop at any point you like. So I'm going to do another one here. This will be my 3rd coat, and then I'll decide from there if I continue with 4 or 5. Then I'll show you what it looks like when I think it's good enough for the aging process. Okay, I did end up doing about 5 coats there, and you can see that's a good reflection from behind. And actually it was like, hey, this kind of looks cool for like an emboss technique if you ever wanted to do that with the image facing right side out. To give you an idea, we're looking at here, oh, sorry. There you go, you can see my camera. This looks pretty modeled already because of what I did when I initially sprayed, which is intentional, unintentional thing. But I want to create a little bit more wear to it, so I just stuck a spray bottle nozzle into some rubbing alcohol. We're going to spritz it on here, and you can either wipe, dab, but it kind of eats through the paint, which I know you just put it on, you're thinking, what in the world? But if you kind of focus on the edges, it'll give it that, what they call ghosting look that we like in antique mirrors. It makes it look really cool. It's hard for me to display that up close to you on the camera here, but you'll see when I flip it around and show you the end result. It's just coming off, I'm trying to see here. Yeah, hard to show you. Coming off in little bits, and it gives it that extra bit of wear that we look for in an old mirror. So now what I'm going to be doing is, I did not have a back for my frame, so I cut a piece of just scrap wood and used a flat gray spray paint to coat it here so that when this is on the back of this, you'll see that kind of peeking through towards the front like you would on a real old mirror. I'm going to put this into my frame, and then we'll call it done. The glass goes in first, the backing on there. My frame is a little warped from being so old. I have what here is called a point driver. This is a super cool tool. I think it only cost me like maybe $15. If you ever see pictures you get from the art store, you can drive in a point and it'll put it in there so that you can put it all around, and it holds the back in. You just got to be kind of careful with how you install that. We don't want to hit the glass. And I'm going to be putting them in all around and put back my wire hanger, and we're good to go. There we go. Thrifted frame is turned into a really unique, fun, antique mirror with the botanical art there. I really can't say that I'm disappointed. I've never done this exact method before. Totally happy with the outcome, combining a few things I've learned over the years. I think it's beautiful. Question is, do I keep it? I have very little wall space in my home, so as much as I'd like to keep it, I'm trying to decide, will it end up in my shop? I don't know. But if you are interested in it, you can head over to my shop on my blog, prodigalpieces.com, and check out what else I have there for you too. But most of all, I'd love to hear what you have to say down below. Don't forget to subscribe, ring that little bell icon down there. That'll get you notifications as my videos go live. But most of all, come over to my blog where you can sign up for my free email newsletter. It comes right to your inbox as often as you like. You can pick the frequency. Not going to send you spammy stuff, just what I'm doing and what's my latest post. And I'm excited to share with you what's next. I'm curious, what would you have done? Would you have made a mirror? Would you have done the chalk art? Leave me some comment love below. I'd love to hear your feedback because you are the reason I'm here to do what I do. All right, until next time, Larissa at Prodigal Pieces. Bye.